They had a playoff spot, despite everything, going into like the final 2 weeks, and the Philadelphia Flyers faltered. And it was sort of painful to watch because you go, man, you should have had this. You should have lost in 4 straight, but you should have had it.
You want me to give you the numbers?
Give me the numbers, Jesse.
From November to January, the Flyers went 15-8-4.
Wow.
That's a better record than the Leafs, Hurricanes, Oilers, Bruins, Kings, Lightning in that same span.
Wow.
They closed the last 7 weeks of the season 7-11-4.
Yuck.
Their final 10, 2-6-2.
Yeah.
Ew.
And they finished behind the Penguins. The Penguins edged them out in the last game of the year. They had 1 less point than the Pittsburgh Penguins.
The Penguins and Caps both couldn't lose, and the Flyers could not win.
No, they couldn't. So what now for the Philadelphia Flyers? So let's have a closer look, basically. I want to say this. John Tortorella is still the star of this team. And I think it's going to change.
Yes.
But it's not there yet. He is still the mascot. And I am not seeing a ton of changes per se in the big signings, in the big trades. But the name I want to start with is Matvei Michkov.
I mean, that's where it begins and ends. I look at the team overall. I think there's in the middle of the pack of the Metro, there's not going to be much between them. Spoiler alert, I have the Flyers finishing on the back half of that. Not very good. I think they're closer to the team they were at the end of the season than they were in the middle of the season. I mean, I don't see them winning 2 out of 10 games. I don't think they're that bad. But a lot of things need to go right in order for them to be competitive. And the number 1, 2, and 3 thing that they need to go correct, that they need to go right, is Michkov needs to be a star immediately.
Like Kaprizov.
Kind of. Yeah,
Yes.
like he needs to be. I mean, this is a guy who we were talking about, going first overall or being like a better second overall pick than in most years, and they were able to get him at a stupid position.
If you look at his KHL numbers from an NHL perspective, you go, 47 games, 41 points, that's it. Why is that impressive?
At his age in the Continental Hockey League, playing for the team he was playing for too, Sochi. Which was not a great program. So, who is it? SKA?
Yeah, they loaned him out after 1 game.
Yeah, because he played 1 game, but he was scratched for like an additional 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah.
Because they're weird over there. They're just super weird with young talent. He goes to Sochi and he's immediately their best player. So he carried the team. Like, it's one thing to put up points on a juggernaut, which sometimes you will see in the KHL. Like Ivan Demidov, for example, is going to tear it up this year because he's on a team that is good and should be good. Sochi is not that.
No.
Michkov ripped that league up, and I think he's going to come in and be like an immediate 30-goal scorer at least for the Philadelphia Flyers.
That's
a take.
No, I don't think it's not a take. It's just that's a big projection.
The Calder,
on a young kid.
I look at the Calder as his. He's my easy front runner, and we'll see if anyone cares to take it from him.
Where do you have him playing?
On the Flyers.
I think first line right wing.
No. I mean, maybe not right away, but I mean, if he's not playing top 6 minutes at minimum, maybe first line by like Halloween, we're going to be grumbling real loud about Tortorella.
For me, I looked at the Flyers and I said, okay, so the reason we went through those numbers of their epic collapse last season was because they didn't have goaltending. Starting Samuel Ersson it's not starting a goaltender. It wasn't fair to him.
Bless him.
He was put in a situation where their goaltender was stolen by the Russian government and they couldn't play him until the very end of the season where they got him back and everything. So that's not fair to Fedorov and it's not fair to Ersson. But
and their starter got arrested. That too.
No, yeah.
That Ersson was. Yeah. I mean, it was an impossible situation.
Yeah, if you want to go further back, we could go to Carter Hart and all that stuff.
That was mid-season.
Yeah,
that was mid-season.
He did play. He did play last year.
Yeah.
So you can. That's a part of the narrative as well, and why they didn't have goaltending. But then, what did they do this offseason to fix that? They brought back the same guys, but they're giving Fedotov now a training camp and getting acclimatized to North American ice. And I just didn't look at that situation. And I didn't think it's enough. I don't think Cal Peterson, Fedotov, and Urson are enough to compete for a playoff spot. Because it wasn't last year, and I don't think it will be again this year.
The good news is I feel like there's going to be just a bonkers amount of goalies waived this year. And if very early on in preseason they go, whoops, this doesn't look very good, I think there's going to be help out there. But the contract they gave Fedotov, like, they believe in this guy. They think he's going to be good. He's not going to be the backup. He'll be the starter by the end of the season if everyone stays healthy. It's just, again, with the Flyers, they're okay. It's everything needs to go right. Fedotov needs to be exactly what they think he's going to be.
Right.
Michkov needs to be a star right away. Their back end is miserable.
Yeah, so a lot of what's happening here hinges on Fedotov working out, and like no matter how good Michkov is going to be, and like I think Jamie Drysdale is going to be elite, and I think they are going to end up winning the Cutter Gauthier deal and all that fun stuff.
I do not think that at all.
I think Jamie Drysdale's a fantastic talent.
I think he's okay.
He's going to grow into a fantastic defenseman.
He had a miserable season that I don't think could go much worse.
That's fair.
Yeah, he didn't want to be in Philly. Like he didn't expect to be traded.
Yes.
Like it wasn't ever into the stars that he would be moved to Philadelphia. And now he's there, and now that's his home. And I think Tortorella is going to get the most out of him. But all I want to say is everything hinges on goaltending working out for them. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't matter what happens with the rest of the lineup.
This could have been taken from any Flyers preview ever.
Yeah, since Van Beesbrook, honestly. And I look at, here's what I think, right? Like I disagree with you, Jeff. I think Jamie Drysdale is a fringe 3-4 guy, and that's what he tops out at. I'm glad that he somehow gained. I'm so glad that he gained 18 pounds of muscle somehow throughout the off season. That was the big story. I was like 18 pounds of muscle.
Which
I don't know
one
how
of you
do
guys?
that.
Or it was you. You're like, no, Steve.
You can do that.
Why not?
The comments are just full of people going, it is physically impossible to gain.
No, a lot. Some people. It was
months.
actually about 50-50. Like some people were sending things about like, you can do this if you're a professional athlete and you really train to do it. And some people were like, no, that's impossible. So like, I didn't really know the answer.
My concern is
I don't think that's a part of this preview.
If he has really gained 18 pounds of muscle, he's about to become John Tortorella's favorite player.
Yes, but what I wanted to say was, here's the story that I'm not hearing enough is, what are they doing at center? You've got Couturier, who they scratched, who's the captain, 38 points last year. Morgan Frost, 41 points last year. If you want to go all the way down, Scott Laughton, 39 points. Michkov's going to need somebody to step up and be the guy. Now, maybe it's not this year. I don't think that the Flyers look at last year or this year as like, man, we really got to go for it. But at the same time, you do need to show progress somewhere. So you guys identified goaltending. I think you're absolutely right. You need to know what you have with Fedotov. You really believe that. Michkov is going to elevate somebody. We're going to need to find somebody who can also drive a line with him. And that's got to be the Flyers' next challenge.
They have Tippett, Konechny, Farabee, and Sanheim.
Yeah.
Who all have potential. They're all in their mid-20s. Who are under good contracts. You have opportunity here for somebody to step up and take another step in their career and become something that they aren't right now. So there's a lot of promise there with the Flyers.
How valuable will the rope be? Will they have the best cardio in the damn league?
Cam York and Travis Sanheim look to be the top two defensemen for this team. Assuming that Rasmus Ristolainen is healthy, they have him right now pegged as the third right shot defenseman.
That back end's a world of hurt.
It is. And so here's what I think for the Flyers, guys. You know what was really amazing this offseason is watching the San Jose Sharks take advantage of every team's cap problem. Oh, you got a problem? We will solve that.
Got it.
We will solve that. That's Danny Briere's next chance here. That's where he's got to really excel, is where can I find people that, because their prospect rankings, they're okay. They're good. I need to take advantage of some other teams and really kind of crush it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I was about to say, I just pulled up Puckpedia. I was like, they could potentially be waiver wire vultures. Puckpedia currently has them $829,000 over the cap.
No.
No, because like they have Ryan Ellis on the roster
Ah,
and somebody else too.
Ryan Johansson is still there.
Ryan
too.
Johansson. So that's like $10 million that's going to be.
Oh,
moved
wow.
off the
Yeah, they'll be
roster.
okay.
So they could be.
Yeah, that's
vultures.
not.
They could be
Yeah.
vultures. Then.
Yeah.
Also want to see if centerman Jet Lukashenko, who was the number 13 pick in the 2024 draft, gets a look at least for 9 games because he's a high-end talent player who plays center, and they need that. So with that in mind, gentlemen, would you like to know the odds for Philadelphia? Remember, they had 87 points last year, which was a surprise.
I'm gonna say it goes down.
Okay, well, it's 86.5, so you are right.
Hey,
Do you have the over or the under for the Flyers at 86.5? What are you picking, and where do you put them?
a very light under. Like again, if they make some noise, slam some cupboards, I won't be shocked at all. But someone's got to win, someone's got to lose in this division, so I have them 7th.
Okay, and how many points?
85.
Okay,
like
so
not
over.
much under.
All right, Jesse?
Under and 7th. We named so much young, good talent, like even middle-aged good talent that's not quite there yet, but will be very soon. The Flyers are going to be good in a couple of years, just not right now. 7th and under.
It's rare, but we all agree. Same thing. I say under, and I say 7th place. I just can't see how they can get above anybody else except for, well, I'll tell you in the next preview.
Oh,